guys, I'm back for another video now. I'm really sorry that I haven't done a video yet this week, but obviously I couldn't actually say on my last video why I wouldn't be doing any videos this week. I actually went up to see Liam, but it was a surprise visit. Normally obviously we arrange it weeks before that I'm going to come and see him, but I did it as a complete surprise, and obviously I arranged it with his mum, so I just kind of show up in Whitehaven, because obviously, as most of you know, Liam lives 300 miles from me, so it's not I can just turn up there whenever I like. It takes a lot of planning. So yeah, and obviously he watches my videos, so I couldn't say on my last week, oh, I'm not going to be doing videos this week, because he would got really suspicious as to why I wasn't doing a video. So I am sorry about that, but I'm doing a big catch up now. So I've watched Raw and Smackdown. I watched Raw yesterday, I watched Smackdown today. Couldn't do a video yesterday because like I say, Liam lives so far away. Obviously it's 7 hours on the train, and I actually left Whitehaven at 6:30 in the morning, so I had to get up at 10 to 5, so I was literally a walking zombie yesterday. But no, obviously I had a really good week and stuff, obviously, because if I hadn't seen him this week, I wouldn't have been able to see him till March, so it would have been 5 months without seeing each other, which is just I'm sure you guys probably don't care about this, but I'm just telling you anyway. So I did a load of stuff. I obviously saw some friends that I haven't seen for ages. Obviously went to town, had our anniversary meal. We also went to the zoo on Friday, which is good because I hadn't been to a zoo for 10 years, and it was free, so I was yeah, why not? So it was awesome. I got pecked by an emu. Well, not necessarily pecked, but I was feeding it, and it jabbed his beak at my hand, which was kind of scary. But it's pretty awesome. Anyway, so I'm going to stop rambling, about that and actually talk about wrestling. Obviously, I haven't written any notes and stuff because obviously I was just so tired when I was watching it yesterday. But I was kind of obviously just going to talk about the main points. I did get quite a few messages from people asking me what did I think about this, and obviously I was oh no, don't tell me what happened. I haven't seen Raw yet. But so the main kind of things, obviously we have Brodus Clay. So, as you guys know, I was not a fan of Brodus Clay at all when he was with Alberto Del Rio last year, but I think it's quite funny. I know there's a lot of people that absolutely love this whole Funkasaurus thing, and there's also lots of people that despise it, but I think it's quite funny. It's more interesting than, when he was just Brodus Clay before. I found him, to be really dull, and I didn't like his character. So obviously it's different. It's quite funny. And a lot of people who are oh, it's terrible. It's, it's funny. If you haven't got, that kind of sense of humour, then, well, oh dear. It's just what's not to like about a big guy, just dancing around, looking terrible. It kind of reminds me, obviously, to be honest, yeah, obviously they used to have a lot of wrestlers who would, do dances and stuff. Obviously, Rikishi, too cool. I'm sure there's more, but I was thinking who it was. I just can't think. I'm sure there's other wrestlers who used to dance apart from them, but it reminds me of that, which is a good thing, because obviously Rikishi was funny back in, he would have fit in, in the whole Attitude Era really well, because they did have a lot of a bit more extreme over the top gimmicks back then as opposed to now. But I think it's funny, so I'm fine with it. It doesn't bother me. I just have got his theme music stuck in my head all day. Just somebody call my mama. It's literally won't leave my head. So I'm fine with that. I'm fine, and at least it's actually finally debuted, and they're not going to keep going on about it all the time now. So we had that. Someone else also asked me what my thoughts about Edge being inducted into the Hall of Fame this year are. Now, obviously, we knew that Edge was going to be in. Me personally, when I think Hall of Fame, I think, old guys that, used to wrestle and, who were, really big at the time, back when they were actually wrestling, and then get inducted later on. But it seems now they seem to induct people, really soon after they've, obviously I know Eddie Guerrero was a bit different, and I know that was a bit a lot of people said yes, he should have been in it, but obviously he'd kind of only died the previous year, so maybe they said that they should have waited. Personally to me, I don't watch the Hall of Fame. It's not something that I'm really that bothered by. I know a lot of people think it's a really massive deal, but to be honest, they put so many ridiculous people in it over the years that it's not something that bothered me. And of course, yeah, Edge, yeah, he deserves, to be in it, but I think maybe they did it a bit too soon. Now they just seem to, as soon as wrestlers retire, or, I know it sounds horrible, but as soon as they die or retire, it's just put them in straight away. A lot of people, who they do put in, obviously, they retired, 10, 20 years ago, and it's just now that they're doing it, really soon, and it's a bit oh. But, what, I don't know what other people think, but I think maybe the Hall of Fame is supposed to be older people, I suppose it's different with people so Shawn Michaels obviously was older when he retired, but I don't know, maybe I'm just completely rambling. But yeah, to be honest, I'm not that bothered about the Hall of Fame, but I think maybe they should have waited, because it's not Edge is still young, so he will still obviously be around and people will still remember him in 10 years time and stuff, so well, I don't know. So yeah, we had that. What else happened on Raw? I'm trying to think now. Obviously, we have the Kane saga continues. Obviously, he took out Zack Ryder and John Cena at the end, so, you know, I don't know. Kane, obviously, his promo at the start, it was alright, but Kane's talk, he just goes on a lot, and I can see why people get bored of it, and just kind of, yeah, keeps, like, talking and talking about the same thing, and it's like, okay, just get to the point now, because he just rambles on a lot. I don't know if anybody else finds that, but Kane's not the most interesting talker that they've got. Oh, and obviously, how did I forget, Jericho, again, oh, it's getting boring now. I know that's the whole point, and lots of people on the internet were like, oh, well, if you find it boring and annoying, then it's, you know, what he's trying to do is work, and it's like, yeah, I get that, but it's like a waste of my time. I have to sit and fast forward, you know, like 10 minutes or 15 minutes of, you know, him. Well, this time he was like crying. You know, last week he was just, you know, kind of making the crowd cheer. This week he was kind of crying, and it's getting a little bit dull. So until he actually starts talking, then I'm probably just going to end up skipping his segments, because it's not interesting. Yeah, we get what you're trying to do, but it's a bit boring. So yeah, that was pretty much the kind of main kind of stuff that really happened on Raw. Smackdown, I've literally just finished watching. It wasn't a brilliant show, really. The only kind of thing to talk about is obviously the main event, Daniel Bryan versus Big Show in their rematch for the World Heavyweight Championship. This time, obviously, it was a no DQ and no count-out match, so that, you know, Daniel Bryan couldn't, you know, cheat like he did last week. Seems that, you know, Big Show is immune to chair shots, because Daniel Bryan hit him with like 15, 20 chair shots, and he was like still fine. Whereas like a normal mere human would have like died. But, you know, so it was, that kind of put me off a bit, you know, because obviously Daniel Bryan is definitely kind of, you know, properly turning heel now. But just the fact that he was just using chairs, like, you know, it's like, well, I don't know, I didn't find that, like, very interesting. When someone just repeatedly keeps hitting someone with a chair, it's a bit like, okay then. Then obviously the ending of the match, Big Show and Daniel Bryan kind of, you know, Big Show was chasing Bryan on the outside, but AJ, because obviously she's with Daniel Bryan, who was there at ringside, but obviously Big Show kind of didn't manage to avoid her when he went after Bryan and, like, completely, like, knocked her down and flattened her, and obviously I had to call the paramedics and stuff to put her on a stretcher, and obviously Big Show felt really bad, and he was actually, like, crying, which is like, what is with people crying in wrestling this week? So, you know, he just felt, like, really guilty about it, and obviously Daniel Bryan was laying into him saying, oh, how could you do that? You know, she's only a girl, you know, if the title means that much to you, you know, that you would do that, you can just have it. So obviously healing the situation up. I don't mean healing as in, like, you know, making him feel better. I meant healing as in bad guy, but I'm sure you guys knew that anyway. So, yeah, so that was kind of the whole point of that, and, you know, and he walked off. They just ended the match, because obviously they kind of, both of them were following, like, you know, AJ out, and obviously Big Show felt, like, really bad. Which was kind of a strange ending, really, so, you know, in wrestling, because obviously, you know, they don't care they, like, hurt people, but I know there's a whole thing about, you know, hurting a girl, and obviously Big Show is, like, a good guy, really, so he just felt, like, really bad about it. But I suppose it kind of continues the angle on, again, if Daniel Bryan had actually beaten Big Show, then it would have been a bit, well, you know, to beat him, like, on Smackdown. I think they need to save it for, like, a main event, and obviously next week, obviously Daniel Bryan's going to be facing, like, Mark Henry. So I don't know what they're going to do with that, but I'm guessing all these kind of different endings is making it, because it seems weird that they keep having so many title shots, like, in a row on Smackdown. They've had quite a lot recently, obviously, these last, like, 3, and also, obviously, they did it on, like, the Super Smackdown before, like, back in December, or end of November, December, so they seem to do a lot more title defences now than they have been, but I'm just hoping, yeah, because obviously if someone actually properly won, then it wouldn't make it very kind of interesting for the pay-per-views, if you know what I mean. So at least they're kind of prolonging it, making, like, building up in the feud, and obviously this whole thing with, like, AJ and stuff, that's gonna, you know, kind of, yeah, kind of keep the storyline going. I'm kind of rambling, I'm still really tired, I haven't recovered from yesterday. So, yeah, and I don't think really anything else that interesting happened on SmackDown. That was kind of all there was, really. But yeah, no, so sorry again that I didn't do a video in the week, but obviously I was away and I can't do videos on that with, you know, Liam, people on Sky, so I couldn't even watch wrestling, so just trying to, like, avoid finding out what happened on Raw before I got home, but I didn't find out too much, thankfully. But yeah, no, so I'm going to go now, because I've been, like, you know, kind of rambling on for ages, but I just wanted to talk about the main kind of points of Raw and SmackDown. So obviously, but I will be back to normal doing my reviews properly this week, and I've actually got a couple of early shifts this week, so I should hopefully be able to do, I don't know, I might be able to do a Raw review on Tuesday, but if not, it'll just be Wednesday as normal. Anyway, so thanks for watching this video, and I will see you guys next time. I just hit my knee on the desk, I don't know if you heard that. Not a good idea. Anyway, I'm going now. So thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!